Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Soul and Grace podcast. Welcome back. I know I foreshadowed a chunk of a break, but I just got back home. So yeah, welcome back to you and me. How you doing today? How you feeling? How I'm feeling? More than anything, I'm just happy to be back home. Quite honestly, and I know that I don't want to take up too much time. So I'm just trying to think, how am I going to catch y'all up on life really quick? Because, yeah, I definitely had a short departure. So let me get my notes together. Today's episode is brought to you from the comfort of my pajamas. Actually, like I said, I just got back. I've probably been home like a few hours. The guilt was eating me up, not gonna lie. So I was like, I really didn't want to. Like, hair is old. It's not old, but it's a day old. Did a little light beat because not on Beyonce internet, baby. We are so back, and I'm just happy to be back home. I'm actually not that sorry for my break because I've been on the move and I've been on the go. I think one of the things that I am trying to really work on is like always grace and being able to have that self-awareness with things. Having that grace and self-awareness for myself means not forcing myself to do things because my camera was with me. Even my phone, I could do this from my phone. I have my portable mics, all the things, and it just didn't work out that way. But it was great because one of the things I really just been appreciating is being able to be in the actual moment. Yeah. It's them damn phones. Or, you use your phone and you are living in the moment, but then you find yourself like, and for me, myself, I've noticed that I just haven't been taking as much, like you take content, but you don't take personal pictures or videos or get pictures of yourself in the actual surroundings besides some type of promotion for the event itself or something like that. So yeah, I would say, let me pat myself on the back for that. I don't feel sorry about that. So and honestly, me having breaks in between, granted, this is a weekly show. I plan to bring it to y'all weekly, but life happens, things happen, and we'll kind of talk about that in today's episode. Most importantly, we're here today. So let's go ahead and get into the show. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know, if you are new here, we always start the show off with self-love card because it's been, excuse me, I got the words jumping out my mouth so fast, but because it has been a couple of weeks, we're just gonna start from deck one. It goes past, present, future. So we're gonna go with the past, and see what we get today. Also, this is my, ooh, it's even like a little dusty. Let me try to, boom. Focus. This is my self-love deck by this company. I think their name is We're Not Really Strangers. I don't know, this ain't no promo, but I love this card deck and I would highly recommend getting it to use to start your day or end your day. If you're someone that struggles with like journaling and all of that stuff that's supposed to help us out, having like an affirmation deck or a card deck or something of the sort that gives you prompts, 10 out of 10. Anyways, today's self-love card asks, when has your intuition been right? Recently, I'll tell y'all about it, about my vacations or whatever. I'll tell y'all a little bit about it. More than anything, I think we need to just learn how to really trust ourselves, because that little voice in the back of your head, that little gut feeling, that little something, while it doesn't always mean that something bad is happening, but if you feel a little queasy, you might be right about however you're feeling. Go with it. So we will talk about that. I feel like if I talk about it too much, then it'll mess up the episode. So anyways, yeah, definitely check it out. Here's the front of one of the cards, if I can get it to focus. Anyways, child. Also, I do have a gotta have it for this week. We're kind of doing away with the gotta have it, but it's not that I want to do away with it. It's more so like I'm not a fan of content that constantly pimps things to me and tells me I need to buy it, because there are so many things that we be feeling like we need to buy, but And don't get me wrong, I do be buying it, but not stuff like that. Do your research, make sure it works, test it out, because it is really trial and error with every different person. We are all different. And while I think majority of us can handle things, you never know, you might be the one that cannot. But anyways, cheers to another episode. I tap my teeth. I hate that. Let's go ahead and get into the gotta have it for the week. So my gotta have it for this week would be, especially coming off of a road trip, flights, life. I feel like the perfect gotta have it for this week is a pass, membership, priority pass, something, things that bring you ease. Go ahead and invest into that. Go ahead and invest in that. And it could be so simple as like I'm not familiar with Sam's Club, but it could be as simple as your Costco membership. All the great benefits that come with that. Invest in it. Bring all the ease that you need to your life so you're not overly anxious, overly stressed, beating yourself up about some things that could have been easier, but maybe you're not a good planner. Yeah, somebody is hearing this in their life. Girl, you talking to me. And girl, I'm talking to you, and I want you to go get that priority pass, that Costco membership, that something. Sign up for something that brings you a simple ease, and whether that's like your everyday life or traveling or whatever. Sign up for something that brings you ease because you deserve it. And for me, I would say, I got recent examples of my Costco membership bringing me some ease. I have hotel reward programs I'm a part of that always bring me a lot of ease. I had a freaking whole stay in Atlanta free off of points, baby. Whew, sign up for that membership. Sign up for it and use it. And if you're not regularly using it, make sure you're spending money or making sure like the fee or whatever is attached to it allows you to access it when you need it. Because I know there's like a lot of things you'll sign up for it and they'll be like, oh, you didn't spend this much on the card or something like that. Those are not the memberships I'm talking about. Sign up for things that bring you ease, or passes and memberships and things that bring you ease. Okay. Even like gym memberships and things. Don't just sign up at a Planet Fitness because it's $10 a month, $15 a month, and it's affordable. While that's a big part of it, it is a big part. Like accessibility is the first the first thing. And then safety, but then so on and so forth. Don't go for the cheap thing. Don't treat yourself like a cheap thrill or like you want to have a cheap lifestyle. Even if you have to live like a more affordable or even if you have to live a life where you have to be more mindful of your spending. I want to use the right verbiage because there's so much power in the tongue, right? But yeah, be mindful of your spending. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap. Invest in a little ease. That is my gotta have it for the week. Now let's go ahead and get into Soul Search. As we walk into Soul Search today, I just would like to express my current feelings and the way I am so ready to be I am so happy to be sitting my ass down because, it's been a couple of weeks and it's like, oh my God, summer's just getting started, but I am happy to be back home, in my regular norm where I don't have to perform. And no, really perform is the best way to put it. But I am so happy. And quite honestly, yesterday it was a point where it was like, oh, I am just so like my energy, like you just, my energy is gone from traveling, from entertaining conversations, all of these things. But then I had a little feeling come over me where it was just like a moment of gratitude because often I do have to remind myself that people are not necessarily praying for this life because it's better or I have this advantage over someone, but they're praying for some of this ease, let alone flexibility in their everyday life and work life experience, I guess. But yeah, I started having a feeling of pure gratitude for that. And I love that the last couple of years, I've been kind of, when it comes to certain things, I've been kind of good at that. Like, just like I might have a negative thought, but I can talk myself out of feeling negative about things and kind of reason with it in that moment, or like find a way to reason with it or push it out my mind. I'm always asking for something to leave my mind if I need to. I'm not afraid to ask the universe to do that. Surprisingly, when you talk to your body, it does kind of respond in those ways. If you see me looking down, my notes are down here, and a lot of this I've scripted on my flight home. Anyways, I have been literally all over the South, or what I would say all over the South. I know Texas big. No, for real, I have been all over the South, and then the South Coast, and then the East Coast, the lower Southeast Coast. Is that what people call South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia? Because it is East Coast a little bit. No, anyway, I've been all over the world. Everywhere. Flights, trains, the bus. Yes, the bus. I'll get to that, like what that was for, but that was fun. It has been really busy and very tiring because I did have my son with me. I was with my mom, but for some reason, child, my mom is just at this point in phase and age of where she act like she needs not an assistant, but like assistance. Yeah, and we did the Mother's Day thing, excuse me, because we're both mothers, but somehow I was her personal assistant this damn majority of this trip. And that in itself was good and mentally exhausting. If you ever been on a trip with your mother, then you know. Even if there's no arguments or anything, which there's not, or which there were not, surprisingly, but it's mentally exhausting. I don't know about y'all parents and what age they are, but I'm guessing like 50 to 60s if you're anywhere. Oh my, sometimes it's like I have to parent her, not in the best way. Like I have to re-educate her, or she act like a senior already. I would just cut it short. Okay, that's nice to say when it comes to that. She act like a senior already. I don't know what happened. The sharpness is slowly fading. I'm just kidding, mother, if you hear this. Overall, lots of laughs, lots of good moments, lots of new memories for me and her grandson. Me and her. Y'all know what I mean. Just a lot of great new family memories and road tripping together. This would have been our second road trip because we did road trip to New Orleans last year, and that was fun. It was fun. We did 48 hours in New Orleans. That was great. It was a really good time. Damn, I'm just thinking, I never even posted that. I go so many great places and I just don't because I'm in the moment. It's just, that is what gets me when I think back on it. But the truth is, you're not just having fun because you posted. So keep that in mind. Overall, a great trip. So while I am so happy to be back home, resetting and restoring my energy and my life for a month, which always flies by so fast, I feel like I accomplished something special because, again, it was all good. There wasn't really any bad, honestly. No. And I mean, that's what happens when you plan things with intention and all of the things, right? Use all of those buzzwords. How I'm feeling right now is just like, how fortunate am I to live this life and to meet the people that I get to meet and come across and be introduced to. This group that we went out to North Carolina. Yanceyville, North Carolina. Never heard of it. Honestly, I've only been to Charlotte in North Carolina. So it was nice to see other areas and things. And yeah, maybe I'll put a video in here for the YouTube video, but I don't know. It's not going to be on the Spotify because I usually put the edits afterwards or later on. But yeah, how fortunate am I to live the life that I live? It is not full of everything that I want, but I have everything that I need. When I say I got everything I need, I have everything I need in every aspect that I can think of, or every category of my life. And that is enough for me, quite honestly. I am coming back and going into this almost airplane mode, feeling like, yeah, things are great and they can only get better, and let me restore myself so that I can be better, do better, and explore more, honestly. Because I just think, all the people that promote being on go, traveling, and all of these things, nobody ever talk about like that in between of the coming back from your trip depression, fucking, excuse my language. Are we past the couple? I think we're good, but nobody ever talk about like the come down and the in between, resetting your life in between there. And because have done enough of the traveling and working and doing all of these things, I do quite honestly appreciate and understand how important it is to reset and schedule important events away from each other. Give yourself enough space. For me, I don't know if I've said it on the show or not, but especially when I come back from a big trip, it's going to take me at least 2 weeks to mentally reset and hop back into my routine. I don't want to say I'm very fortunate, but I will say I am working every day, working my ass off to ensure that I will never have to put myself in a situation where I do not have that luxury or freedom to gather my damn self and restore myself when I come back from a trip, because I could not imagine snapping back into my reality right off the plane. Even in 2 days, I cannot. Now, granted, I got some bigger life changes coming up later in the year, like my kid going to school and things like that. I don't get that. Maybe I got a week, but I still got to be productive in that week, Anyways, that's how I was scripting this episode. On the plane tonight, there was this woman behind me. Upon arriving to the airport, I was not notified until maybe 30 minutes before my flight that thunderstorms were happening and the flight was delayed. Cool, great. I do not panic because, hey, I'm just going home. I don't have anywhere else to be, but there are people upset. Very rarely do you ever come across gate agents or airport employees that are apologetic for the changes and things and updates that are completely out of their control. I would say more than anything in my last 10 years of flying, if there is some type of delay or cancellation, it rarely has ever been weather, but that's a thing. That's a thing. And I just think if there's some weather going on, I don't want to be in the air, right? Well, as I was scripting this episode, I was listening to a woman complain about how our delayed flight has destroyed her work schedule and blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying blah to be rude, weird, none of that. I'm not saying that because of that. I mean, when we were in line on the plane, boarding, and they were apologizing, they were also working with this woman to see how they could accommodate her. Also rare. It gets pushed back again when we get on the plane and we have to wait. And this woman happened to be in the seat behind me and my son. Now, again, I'm not saying blah to be rude. I'm not. But yeah, here we are hours later. And she's complaining to whoever will listen. The other passengers. She's called her manager, and I know it's her manager because we have nothing to do but listen to what's going on around us, right? So I hear this, and I'm just like, at first I was not irritated, but now at this point, you are messing up my there's no experience, child. I'm going back home, blah blah, but you're messing up my surrounding bubble. You interfering with my vibe right now, even if my vibe is just sane, happy to be safe. We're not in the air in a thunderstorm. We're not running into another plane. I'm good. But we're listening to this, and even then, while we're delayed on the plane, there's still a flight attendant standing there with her phone, looking up all the possible connecting flights of where this woman figuring out how she could accommodate her. How could she get a switch? How could she do these things? But instead, we were listening to her for hours, complaining. And sometimes I feel like we really create these scenarios in our head when things don't go the way that we expect them to. Still like a toddler, very much like a toddler. And we have that problem really bad. Mind you, I don't know if I said it already, but the flight is delayed because of storms. There is nothing that these attendants can do. There's nothing that the pilots can do. There is nothing that can be done for something that is natural. And if we all would like to get there safely, I think the best bet is to shut up. Just a little bit, like relax. Cause would you rather die? I don't know. Cause me personally, no, thank you. I need the pilots to see exactly where they're going. Get me where I need to go and where I need to be. They have somewhere, they have to get to where they need to be too safely. Especially when I have my child with me, I don't need any inconveniences, because I think just like any woman, it just sends you into mama bear mode. And it's just like, I don't want him to remember this experience either. I got my little with me. Definitely not. Then we were being updated regularly. But this lady went on and on for 2 hours on the dang flight. The flight crew was constantly apologizing to everybody, not just her, but to everybody. I'm just kind of laughing at myself because I'm trying to script like right for the show, but instead I'm listening to her. I really wanted to ask her, why are you still complaining? Why are you still complaining? Now, I know in the past that my cool, calm, and collected energy, it just be offending people, because honestly, who I am is just like, this is what you want. Because if it's on fire, the whole place getting set on fire. So it's just like, not a good. Don't get me there. Please, 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 please don't. I'm just really not big on complaining. I feel like you have this much space to complain, and then after that, unless you're gonna change something, shut up. Unless you're gonna change something or do something about it. And again, while I'm peeping, in my mind, the mental checklist is there. People apologizing as a thunderstorm, pilots apologizing, flight attendants nice, they done gave us a little snack. Okay, y'all not trying to keep us starving. Okay, cool. We sitting on the excuse my language. We're stuck on the runway. So all of my checklist has been checked off. They're trying to make us comfortable. While I peep everything, I'm just not for the complaining. I'm about solutions. And then I'm listening to these people give you the solutions, and none of those worked out for you. There were other flights you can get on. There were all of these things, and that just didn't work for you. So why are you still complaining? Everyone has offered you all of the options that exist. Why are we still complaining? Be about solutions. And that brings me to a point that I want to say, if you are someone who complains a lot, especially women, that's who I'm hoping my main audience is. So women, come here. Let me tell you something. Do not be the woman who is complaining all the time. Do not be the woman complaining and making your problem everyone else's problem. It only makes you look a little crazy. I am not saying do not speak your mind. Do not speak up for yourself. Do not act. And I just want to be clear. I am not saying do not ask for what you need. Request what you need. Request what is required of this establishment or business. Don't be afraid to do that. There are ways to use your words. Use them correctly. Please, 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 please. Especially in places where you are being serviced. Your restaurants, the airport, all of these things, because these people are just clocked in for a shift. This is not their life. This is not their company. Matter of fact, they might not even be the manager. Matter of fact, they don't even care. They don't. Their goal is good customer service. That's their job, great customer service, but they don't really care. So stop. We all need to stop. I am better, and I have always been better than my peers at it, but I will say something smart back to you in a very respectful manner. Or my favorite thing to say if I feel that someone is servicing me with a terrible attitude or something, well, I hope you have a better day. Goodbye. And I always see them. Whoa. Who having a bad day? Who having a bad day? You just threw my stuff in the bag. You just threw my luggage over there. just snatched my $10 out my hand. I hope you have a better day. Toodles. Toodles. Goodbye. Kill them with kindness. That's the best way to do it. But yeah, you just got to remember that these people are simply clocked in. They do not care. Especially when there's legit reasons listed, explained over and over again. You've been listed all of your options and you're still not happy. And most importantly, like, things happen. Like, I don't want to say shit always happens, but free your mind of the perfection. The best thing that we can do is truly learn to understand that things are going to constantly be popping up and happening to us and for us and all around us. Things are constantly happening. Free yourself of being a complainer, please, unless necessary. Only complain if necessary. Things happen to us, for us, with us, around us. Like, there will always be something. Save that energy and complaining, please. Or, excuse me, save that energy and avoid complaining. Voice how you feel though, because it's real bad for you to hold that in and not express how you really feel. But express how you really feel without giving all of how you feel, because nobody really gonna feel how you feel about things either, especially if they're just clocked in for a shift. They're not. Are you gonna let every single little thing get to you or take you out of your character? But from someone that's approaching 30, and as the young people like to say, at my big age, y'all be saying at my big age, girl, you 20. You're 20. That doesn't mean you have it all figured out, boo. Yes, at your big age, you still doing stupid shit. So yes, at that big old age, understand that if nothing else, there will always be something. So don't let it get you out of your character. And I believe there's room for both yes and no on that answer. Am I gonna let shit take me out of character every time? No. But am I going to set the record straight? Yes, absolutely. I will. Respectfully. Truly, respectfully. You don't have to choose peace. You just choose no. Should choose not right now. Not today. Not in this moment. Choose not letting it steal your peace and power. There might not always be a solution, but majority of the time there is. Besides that situation, I've had so many breakthroughs, especially after being with my mom for the last couple of weeks. Pieced together so many like little breakthroughs and things. So I wanted to share some of that. And quite honestly, where do I begin? Awareness is wild because like you'll be walking through your mom's house and you'll see her do something, you're like, oh, or you'll see how like things are arranged and you're like, Mind you, I just found out my mom has an original copy of The Artist's Way from, she told me she got it in the 90s. So, she's been on a creative discovery process or creative discovery journey. So, interesting. Who is also the oldest daughter, creative. We got too much in common. Let's talk about some moments of clarity that I have had post or during all of my travels. You all know I started the Artist's Way journey and I've been stuck on week 4 through 5. Most people report that that is where the changes, or really that's where the changes come into their lives, whether good or bad. That's where they start to pivot and they either stay on track or they get off track. But not off track in the sense of life, but just like their life starts making these changes because they start to chase this or that, or shit starts to chase them. Now, in my case, my entire reason of starting the Artist's Way challenge was because I have noticed that I struggle with self-sacrifice. Or self-sacrificing or something, but not to the extent of where I do things to people please and things like that, but I do everything that is a priority for my work and life balance to work. But when it comes to my creative ventures that are not necessarily on a time schedule, or I'm being paid for it or something, I have created this graveyard of unfinished things, right? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. To some, it's like, oh, well, shit, if you're not, like, if you have the boundaries, because my boundaries are there, baby. My friends know I'm gonna tell you yes or no if I can do something. Not in a rude way, in the most formal way possible, because I do, or let me not say that, because order is something that I'm constantly working to make sure that I have, because I realize my life can't function without a little order. It just cannot. It cannot. It needs a little function of order. Lots of function of order. Lots of connecting dots, or everything falls apart. So having this graveyard of stuff is great, because again, I'm getting all of the things done that for the most part are important. But what's more important than the other things that make me happy? And I'm just not doing the best job with that. So that's why I started the Artist Way, to help me prioritize that inner creative artist, all the things every single day of my damn life. Not just when I'm feeling extra motivated, or when I'm feeling sad or something, because artists, they'll create, you can go paint, come up with some crazy great drawings when you're not feeling that well. I'm learning that I would like to change that, and I want to remove myself from that. When you're around your parents and things, you start to see patterns and actions, really patterns, and you begin to piece all of that together. You're like, okay, I kind of do that too. Oh, I kind of do that too. And in the case of me and my mom, we kind of have a few things in common. We are both the eldest daughters, and we are both creatives. We both have a different outlook than our families have on certain things, which my mom, I don't feel like I have a different outlook, because she's almost on that same wavelength as me when it comes to, for instance, like holistic living, looking at health and your life from a whole standpoint than the trendy standpoint. We kind of align there. We are mostly aligned there, excuse me. Well, I have my work life, family, and even solo life, because I don't have a problem prioritizing that. I get out, I do my thing, all of the things, but I'm not really leaving that space and that time and energy for myself to pour into that other space in my life. And that is a form of self-sacrificing. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that today, because from someone that's about to go into what I would call airplane mode from the world for a little bit, especially like as a doula and things, like hustles don't stop, they keep going. I'm always on a different schedule than most people, because I'm up at night, y'all up during the day, all of those things. But for someone that is about to go into restoring mode, airplane mode, that might be the name of this episode, airplane mode. Yeah, I like airplane mode. Yeah, I don't know, I really don't like that though. I don't like coming home to like, oh, okay. And I'm looking over here, because there is a graveyard of my canvases that are over here, and I have two paintings that I need to finish that are really big and so beautiful, but I have not prioritized creation in that way. Yeah, self-sacrifice. Let's get the hell into it. Now again, you'll see me looking down, but all the notes is right here. Now, one of the realizations that I had is that I'm so happy that I'm getting all of these downloads before I hit 30. Not that once I turn 30, I'm gonna magically be like fixed or something like that. I'm not thinking that, and baby, that's not what happens if you are under 30 and you're thinking about that. That's not what's gonna happen. I'm not, but I am happy that I'm working on these things, and I can continue to work on them after I'm 30. So what is self-sacrifice? I just want to be clear as we keep saying this, I am no way talking about offing ourselves or none of that. It's a very touchy subject, and I'm not talking about that, okay? I just want to be clear. We are talking about self-sacrifice in a spiritual, soulful, less soulful, but in a soul way, an inner way. That's what we mean. Science says that self-sacrifice is about prioritizing others over ourselves, often out of a sense of duty or societal pressure. Constant self-sacrifice can take a serious toll mentally and physically on our bodies. When we consistently put others first, we risk losing our sense of self, neglecting our boundaries, and facing burnout. Now, I look at myself and all the things I experienced burnout. Now, facing burnout is interesting because normally most of us will still operate from a place of burnout, which is mentally jarring for everybody, right? But there's different levels, I would say. When someone consistently puts others first, others may begin to rely on that individual for support, creating an imbalance. This can blur boundaries and entangle someone's identity with their role as a caregiver or provider. Are you a caregiver or a provider listening to this? And technically, everybody should say yes, because you are your own caregiver. I don't know if you really think about it in that sense, but I would like for you to change your thought process. You are your own caregiver. If you think about it, you are caring and nurturing someone every single day. That someone is your damn self. And if you want to take it a step further, that is your inner child, your inner being, all of the things. Every day, you are a caregiver. So let's jump back into some of my notes. Self-sacrifice. Talking too fast. Self-sacrifice is not inherently virtuous. While there are moments where sacrificing for the greater good is commendable, it's equally essential to prioritize our own needs. Now, as I said a little bit earlier, while when I hear self-sacrifice, I don't necessarily think that or feel that it relates to me completely, but it does in a way, just not in the ways that most people might have these feelings come up for them, because again, I do have a balance. I do have the balance where I need. So for someone that might not know, there are two different types of self-sacrifice. And maybe you fall under one or the other. Maybe you don't. And that's okay too. Because again, I don't necessarily feel like I fall under one of these things, but I know that the pattern that I'm trying to get out of is that, or I feel like is that, I'm happy to discuss with any psychologist if it's that or not or whatever. I would love to do that if you're listening or whatever. Come on, Soul and Grace Boo. Shameless plug. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, share the link, share it everywhere. Tune into us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music. I feel like I'm forgetting somewhere. Spotify and Apple Podcasts, baby. The two types of self-sacrifice that you probably want to learn how to distinguish between, because you don't want to misdiagnose yourself at all. Not all compromise is a sacrifice, and not all sacrifice is bad. Sometimes we make good sacrifices, and sometimes what seems like a bad sacrifice is just, it's really a good sacrifice in disguise, and you just don't realize it. So, healthy sacrifice. Healthy sacrifice is a willing choice made out of a genuine care where nothing is expected in return and core identity is not lost. For me, I feel like I have a lot of healthy sacrifices. That is why I do have balance on the forefront and shit look good. I have it there, and I'm working towards making sure that forefront is good every damn day. That is what comes first. That sounds crazy, but I'm not playing. I do not play, because the forefront being together is why I have the flexibility, why I have the freedom, why I have all the things that I need, and I will get all the things that I do desire, because I want to make sure that forefront is T. I want to make sure it's T. Capital T. Now, unhealthy sacrifice. Unhealthy sacrifice is when an important part of yourself is given up, leading to resentment and emotional exhaustion. It is often one-sided and can be a sign of a codependent relationship. Maybe somebody's listening to this and they can relate to that. I'm 50-50 when it comes to the unhealthy sacrifice, simply because yes, I have lost the time and energy, in a sense, to pour into myself in those other areas of my life. At the same time, because I have that forefront together, I'm not at a point where I'm really sacrificing anything. Majority of the time, literally 98% of the time, all of those things are together. What I need to be are together. What I need to have a healthy, happy, everyday life, that is together every single day. Because I work so hard on that, I've sacrificed just that whatever energy is left over to relax after ensuring that forefront is there. I do realize I've sacrificed a lot of healthy energy, and then I don't have any energy because I use it all for the healthy things. So it's unhealthy that I don't have that energy. So I do recognize that. It's like I'm 50-50. Again, I don't want to claim unhealthy, but I'm claiming healthy. Evaluate the exchange and determine if the give and take in your relationship is balanced, or in relationship, we're not talking about people. If you've been listening and you haven't got bored yet. Overall, look at your life and look at the things in your life, the people in your life, and ask yourself, am I giving too much? Am I giving more than I receive? Healthy compromise means that both partners or both sides of your coin are equally giving. You want to be 50-50. When it comes to unhealthy sacrifices, I do think that most of the time we are sacrificing things because we are afraid of whatever response or outcome that might come from it, especially when it comes to ourselves. We may think, oh, this is selfish of me. People might tell you it's selfish of you, or you're thinking about yourself, you are being considerate, and all of the things. So then you end up giving, and to the point where you have nothing to give. When I think about myself, I have the boundaries there, but there is I rarely have enough energy to give to my personal hobbies and things outside of hosting a good time for myself, because I'm gonna do that. I already said that I'm gonna do that. One thing about it, I'm gonna do it. Unhealthy sacrifice is also very exhausting. Very, very exhausting. Because again, you just keep getting put in this cycle where you're constantly giving. And for me, thinking where are the unhealthy patterns and behaviors, me not getting to a point where I can prioritize using that last little energy that I do have on personal projects, that has been exhausting. But also, again, I have the awareness. Some days I'm better at it than others, but I'm ready to get off the hamster wheel of just spinning, getting there, stopping, but let's just get off and stay there. Unhealthy sacrifices force you to leave yourself out of your own life. You think something is missing in your life, and quite honestly, it is. You are missing the special to it. The special to the sauce is you. The real you. Every day you fill out your to-do list and you are nowhere to be found on your list. Every single day. Shit, every night you're thinking of things you can do. How often are you thinking about things you can do for yourself? Not just the mandatory, gotta do them, heavily prioritized. We forget about ourselves very often. We do, or maybe you're like me, you do just enough for yourself, but not really do the things that self really needs to do to be fulfilled. You make no space for you, no provisions for you, no tweaks for you, no shortcuts, no hall passes for yourself, no nothing. And be clear that this is you doing this to yourself. Because I had to realize that for myself. Who is hurting who? I'm hurting me. Even though it doesn't feel like hurt, but I'm exhausting my own will. It's just dry. It's just really, really dry. And when you catch yourself saying, never have time to do what I want to do, what are you really saying? What you're really saying is, I don't take time for my needs. And that's one of the things Julia put in the artist way at the beginning. Is like, yeah, we just don't. It's not just even for creatives. We do not prioritize ourselves enough. We wake up thinking about what we need, because it's not always a direct need, and we think about what we can do and give to the world, but not in a sense of good, just what is almost demanded or asked of us. You and me, we depriving ourselves. Therefore, we are the solution to what we are missing. So let's go ahead and hop into Queen, and we will talk about a few exercises before we go ahead and close out the show. Because I know, again, all of us are dealing with it in a different way, but on this self-love journey, I know one of the things that you are working through is self-sacrifice. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into Queen and discuss manifesting. I feel like manifesting is the perfect word. Manifesting a little order. Not even a lot of order, but I feel like it's a lot because until the graveyard has been completed, every little activity, task, whatever, it is a lot. But let's go ahead and get into Queen. As we walk into the end of the show, I just want to be your verbal reminder that awareness and acknowledgement are the best tools to heal. You hear me use them a lot. I just kissed my mic. You hear me use them a lot, but quite honestly, they're not just damn buzzwords. I feel like those are the best things that you can give yourself: awareness and acknowledgement. Because a lot of times we be doing a lot of foolish and we just have not looked ourselves in the mirror or took a damn second to say, hey, we're not going out like this, or maybe we're not going out, but we're not gonna do this. Sometimes we have to wait until someone brings it to our attention, or we have fallouts, or we have these things, but we're not doing that. Feel better by trial and error rather than overanalyzing the era, being stuck in a space just mad at yourself. Trial and error, okay? You tried something, it didn't work, error it out. Get back up, try again until you figure out what works. I don't like using the word heal, but figure out what works for you and makes you feel a little bit closer to whole. So let's talk exercises. I never promote things that I would not or have not tried for myself. I hope that when you hear these, you try them out for yourself too. While my experience with self-sacrifice, I feel, is a little bit different than what most people or what it is defined to be, while I don't wholly relate to it, and I say no, I think there are still spaces where I need to be using no even more than I use it now. Because the graveyard continues to grow. I don't know if I might have to make a TikTok about that. I've been saying I don't want to make a TikTok about it because hopefully by the end of the summer, it's like, oh, girl, you didn't finish your 2 paintings and you didn't learn some more songs on your bass. You didn't learn some more, like I'm being optimistic and just like, I can get these things done and I do have the time. If not, I'm gonna use these exercises to help me help myself and help the graveyard, because baby, the studio ain't gonna be here if the graveyard just start covering in there. So while I have certain things in order for my own life, from apps, reminders, timers, scheduling, calendars, all of the things to help me have a little order in my life to stop sacrificing. Maybe you've heard some of these symptoms and you want to get on top of it and save yourself from some of these things. Here is the first exercise that I have for you to help you let go of the belief that sacrificing your happiness makes everyone else happier. Make a list of all the people who are truly grateful for your self-sacrifice. This list should take you 2 seconds to complete. I don't think it's going to take you 2 seconds to complete at all, okay? And that's okay. Because for me, I'm still working on mine. Still working on mine. Next, consider this affirmation. My happiness is my gift to others. My happiness is my gift to others. Think about how this might be true for you. Reflect on how your happiness can help you to love others more. Letting go of the fear that your happiness is selfish creates new possibilities of growth and joy for everyone. My happiness is a gift to others is the affirmation. Now, how's your happiness a gift to others? The first answer that comes to my mind, especially when I think about family and getting my space away from family and all of the things. If I am not happy and if I have not had my space, it's going to be very hard for me to pour into my family and show up for them and love on them the way that I know that they need to be loved. But then I guess an unhealthy form of self-sacrificing would be like feeling like demanding or stating that I know that they need to be loved that way. So that's why I have to sacrifice my being, because I gotta let them that way. Yeah, don't do that. Your happiness is a gift to others. So figure out what's your happiness. What makes you happy? What brings you happiness? And how does that happiness trickle into your life? Now, exercise number 2. When you play the role of the giver, you usually also end up playing the loser. Inevitably, your relationships end up feeling one-sided. People seem to make more than they give. Your relationships seem to take a lot out of you. The first step in letting go of the role of the giver is to inspect the role more closely. You may find, for instance, that giving too much hides feelings of unworthiness, a desire to please, a fear of rejection, wanting to be the one in control, a reluctance to receive, and a lack of authentic presence and openness on your part. I kind of stumbled over a word a little bit, but I'm not gonna cut that out, baby. I did the research to make these notes and get it. I'm gonna do it for y'all. I'm gonna do it for us, really. For us. I'm doing it for us. A reluctance to receive and a lack of authentic presence and openness on your part. Are you a giver? Are you a giver? Are you someone that feels like you have to show up for others? Are you someone that feels like you give so often and you do not receive? Nada. This is for you. For myself, do either necessarily relate to my form of self-sacrifice? No, but it definitely helped process some things because, again, I love to give to whatever will make my forefront look amazing. I will do whatever I need to do. And sometimes that leaves me really drained, and we're trying to move past that. To heal unhealthy sacrifice, you have to be willing to kick everything else up out of your life that's depriving you, of getting closer to yourself or where you want to be, that closer relationship to yourself. You just gonna have to kick it out of your damn life. Start asking yourself, what do you like? What do I love? What feeds me? What fuels me? What keeps me going every day? If that list is full of a lot of things that are on the outside of your being, you might want to reevaluate and check back in with self, because the first things on that list should all be things that pertain to you. Your likes, your loves, your hates, your interests, it should only be things that relate to you or me and who I want to be and who I see myself being in the future. Then once you've done that, make the commitment to stop neglecting yourself and then treat yourself better. Just treat yourself better. I've said it before in the past. Whatever does not reflect who or where or how you want to be, kick it out of your life. Get rid of it. End the relationship. Dump it. Because the whole point of this self-love journey is filling your life with all of the things that make you feel whole. All of the things, or working towards getting the things that make you feel whole. Make the commitment to stop neglecting you. Make the commitment to stop neglecting yourself. Make the commitment to stop neglecting yourself. Make it your commitment to self to stop neglecting you. Make it a commitment to self to stop neglecting yourself. Make it a commitment to self to stop neglecting yourself. Stop neglecting you. Stop neglecting you. Stop neglecting your wants, needs, desires, your being, yourself. Stop neglecting self. For I call CPS on you. Imagine if there was like a CPS for self, like a mental asylum for people that neglect and deprive themselves of self-love. Imagine, shout out to Dominic Morgan. Imagine you stuck in a cycle of self-neglect. My God, everyone will benefit from you pouring into you. Most importantly, the most important person that benefits from you pouring into you is you. How amazing is that? Life always gets better when you treat yourself better. Life gets better when you teach people how to respect you, talk to you, love you, and how to almost demand and pull what you need from the universe. I am running out of time. Remember, life gets better when you start treating yourself better. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Soul and Grace podcast. I'm your host, Danielle, and I will see you next week. Bye.